Imagine a language that transcends words, a silent code that whispers directly to the deepest corners of your mind. This is not fiction, not some abstract fantasy. It's the power of symbols, and more specifically, sigils. For centuries, humans have sought ways to communicate with the unseen, to influence reality beyond the limits of conscious thought. Sigils are the bridge between your conscious intentions and the vast, uncharted potential of the subconscious mind. At first glance, a sigil might look like a simple drawing, an abstract symbol with no apparent meaning. But within its lines, curves, and angles lies a concentrated form of human intention. It is a visual encapsulation of desire, a map that guides your thoughts, emotions, and actions toward a specific goal. The word sigil comes from the Latin sigillum, meaning seal or mark. Historically, it referred to a protective emblem, a marker of hidden knowledge or spiritual power. In occult traditions, sigils were tools magicians and alchemists used to summon energies, spirits, or forces beyond ordinary perception. But sigils are not relics of the past. In the 20th century, occultist Austin Osman Spare revolutionized the practice, showing that the true power of sigils lies not in elaborate rituals, but in their ability to bypass the conscious mind entirely. Spare argued that the unconscious is far more receptive than the logical, doubting mind. By condensing a desire into a symbolic form, you plant an intention directly into your subconscious, allowing it to grow silently and organically. Unlike traditional magic, which often demands complex ceremonies and mystical paraphernalia, sigils work through simplicity. They leverage the innate human response to symbols, a response that is far older and deeper than language itself. Your brain reacts to symbols on a visceral level, tapping into archetypes and emotional triggers that bypass conscious reasoning. This is why a single symbol can feel charged with meaning, resonating in ways words often cannot. Creating a sigil is like designing a personal key to unlock hidden potential. It's a practice that blends art, psychology, and a touch of the mystical each stroke of the pen. Each curve, each angle is an expression of intent. When done correctly, a sigil becomes more than a drawing. It becomes a conduit for transformation. Whether in ancient grimoires, medieval magical seals, or even contemporary corporate logos, the principle is the same. A concentrated symbol can shape perception, influence behavior, and connect deeply with the unconscious. Symbols are not merely decorative. They are functional, powerful, and timeless. This journey into sigils is not about memorizing steps or following rules blindly. It's about understanding a universal principle. Intention, when focused and directed, can manifest through symbolic representation. The human mind is wired to respond to meaning, pattern, and visual cues. Sigils are the perfect intersection of these forces, a method to communicate with yourself, your environment, and the universe at large. By the end of this guide, you'll not only understand what sigils are, but also how to create, charge, and activate them in ways that maximize their impact on your life. You'll learn the psychological and energetic mechanics behind their power, and you'll see how the same principles show up in daily life, from art and architecture to branding and cultural symbolism. The first step to mastering sigils is understanding that the magic is not external. It resides within you. Every intention you hold, every desire you nurture, has the potential to be transformed into reality. A sigil simply focuses and amplifies that potential, channeling it through a symbol your mind recognizes and responds to intuitively. To truly grasp the power of sigils, you need to understand how they communicate with your subconscious. Unlike words, which are filtered through logic and conscious judgment, symbols bypass that filter. They speak directly to the part of your mind that absorbs, adapts, and ultimately influences your reality without interference from doubt or overthinking. Think of your subconscious as fertile soil. Every thought, belief, and emotion is a seed. Some seeds grow into massive, life-altering trees, while others remain dormant, buried under layers of skepticism and fear. A sigil is a specially crafted seed, designed to hold a single intention in its purest form. When planted in your subconscious, it has the potential to grow unchecked, influencing your thoughts, emotions, and actions quietly but powerfully. The process begins with clarity. A vague intention produces a weak symbol, a seed that may never sprout. To make a sigil effective, your desire must be specific, positive, and present tense. Instead of saying, "I want to be confident," frame it as, "I am confident and unstoppable." This phrasing removes doubt and affirms the intention as a current reality. The subconscious does not process negation well, so clarity and positivity are essential. Once your intention is clear, the next step is distillation. This involves reducing your phrase to its core elements, usually by removing vowels and repeated letters. For example, "I am confident and unstoppable" could be reduced to MCFDNSPL. These letters are the raw material from which your sigil will emerge. Here comes the creative phase. The letters are combined, overlapped, and transformed into a unique, abstract design. There are no hard rules here. Intuition guides you. The goal is not aesthetic perfection, but symbolic resonance. The symbol must feel right to you, as it is a direct representation of your intention. Every curve, line, and intersection channels focus and energy, acting as a visual shortcut to the unconscious mind. Charging the sigil is the next critical step. This is where emotion meets intention. A sigil without energy is like a seed in dry soil. It may never grow. You can charge it through meditation, visualization, intense emotional states, or physical activities that heighten your energy. Some people dance, shout, or breathe with focused intensity. The key is sincere emotional investment. The stronger the charge, the more potent the sigil becomes. Activation follows charging. This step involves releasing the sigil into the universe. Methods vary. Some burn it, bury it, or simply set it aside, forgetting it entirely. Detachment is crucial here. When you release a sigil without clinging to the outcome, you allow it to operate without interference from conscious doubt or fear. It's like shooting an arrow. Aim, release, and trust the trajectory. The universe, or more accurately, your subconscious, takes over from there. Psychologically, this process works because your mind continues to process the intention unconsciously. Thoughts, decisions, and even subtle actions begin aligning with your desired outcome. Opportunities, ideas, and synchronicities often appear unexpectedly, as if the universe itself is responding. This is not magic in the mystical sense, but a profound understanding of how human perception, focus, and belief shape reality. Carl Jung famously stated that symbols are transformers of psychic energy. Sigils are a perfect embodiment of this concept. They take concentrated intention, transform it into a visual form, and plant it in the unconscious, where it can grow, influence, and manifest without interference from the conscious mind. By understanding this mechanism, you realize that sigils are more than esoteric art. They are practical tools for personal transformation. They operate on the deepest level of your psyche, combining intention, symbolism, and emotional energy to influence reality in subtle but measurable ways. Now that you understand the theory behind sigils and their connection to the subconscious, it's time to dive into the practical steps. Creating a sigil is both an art and a science, a process that combines clarity, creativity, and focus. The first step is defining your intention. This is the foundation of your sigil, and clarity is paramount. Vague statements or wishes diluted with doubt will never produce a powerful symbol. Choose an intention that is specific, positive, and present tense. For example, instead of saying, "I want more luck," reframe it as, "I attract abundance and opportunities effortlessly." This phrasing eliminates uncertainty and positions the desire as an existing reality. The next step is reducing the phrase into its essential letters. Remove vowels and repeated letters to distill the core essence of your intention. Using our example, "I attract abundance and opportunities effortlessly," you might reduce it to TR, CB, and DPSF. These letters become the building blocks for your sigil, the raw material that will carry your intention into symbolic form. Then comes the why creative transformation. Here you take the letters and start merging, overlapping, and reshaping them into an abstract design. There are no rules for this stage. Let intuition guide you. Focus on creating a shape that feels powerful and meaningful to you. The symbol must resonate on a deep level, as it will act as a direct line to your subconscious. Beauty or legibility is not the goal. Personal significance is. Once the design feels complete, it's time to charge the sigil with energy. This is where emotion and focus breathe life into the symbol. There are countless methods to charge a sigil: meditation, visualization, movement, chanting, or even intense emotional expression. The key is concentration and emotional investment. The stronger the charge, the more potent the sigil becomes. Think of it as planting energy into the symbol itself, making it a living conduit for your intention. The final step is activation and release. Detachment is critical here. The moment you let go of the sigil, it begins to work independently. You might burn it, bury it, leave it in a secret place, or simply forget it. The act of release allows the energy to flow without interference from conscious doubts or fears. By trusting the process and letting the symbol work in the background, your intention can unfold naturally. Sigils are effective because they combine three core principles: intention, symbolism, and detachment. The intention provides clarity, symbolism focuses the energy, and detachment allows the universe, or your subconscious, to complete the process. This trifecta makes sigils a uniquely powerful tool for manifesting desires, influencing behavior, and aligning your internal world with external outcomes. The beauty of sigils is their accessibility. You don't need mystical tools, expensive supplies, or complicated rituals. All you need is clarity of purpose, creativity, and focus. Even beginners can create impactful sigils, while seasoned practitioners can refine the process for deeper, more nuanced results. But sigils are not confined to the personal or mystical realm. They are everywhere in the modern world. From corporate logos to religious symbols, the principles of sigil making are used consciously or unconsciously to influence perception, emotions, and behavior. For example, think of Nike's swoosh. It is more than a logo, it's a symbol condensed from intention. It evokes movement, speed, and victory. Apple's bitten apple represents innovation, knowledge, and curiosity. Even the golden arches of McDonald's convey comfort and familiarity. These symbols, like traditional sigils, communicate directly to the subconscious, shaping perception without words. Understanding this universal language of symbols allows you to see the hidden power in daily life. Every visual cue, every icon, every piece of art is a potential sigil, communicating messages to your mind and influencing behavior, often unnoticed. To truly appreciate the power of sigils, it helps to look at their historical and cultural roots. Sigils are not a modern invention. They have existed for millennia in various forms, always serving as a bridge between the human mind and the unseen forces of the universe. In ancient civilizations, sigils appeared as sacred symbols, carved into temples, amulets, and ritual objects. They were believed to protect, empower, and connect humans with divine or spiritual energies. The Seals of Solomon are perhaps the most famous examples. Complex geometric patterns designed to command and communicate with spiritual forces. Each line and intersection carried profound symbolic meaning, encoding intention, protection, and wisdom into a single visual design. During the medieval period, sigils became integral to grimoires, magical texts used by alchemists and magicians. The Key of Solomon, for instance, contains intricate sigils used to invoke specific energies or entities. These symbols were not mere decoration, they were carefully crafted tools, each serving a precise function. Practitioners understood that a symbol could concentrate energy, focus intention, and influence both the seen and unseen world. Fast forward to the early 20th century, and Austin Osman Spare revolutionized sigil practice by connecting it to modern psychology. He emphasized that the power of a sigil lies in its ability to bypass conscious thought, embedding desire directly into the unconscious mind. Spare's approach made sigils accessible, practical, and deeply personal, removing the need for complex rituals while maintaining profound efficacy. But sigils didn't stay confined to mystical traditions. Their principles permeated art, culture, and modern symbolism. Today, logos, brand identities, and even contemporary art use the same foundational idea: condensed intention expressed visually. Nike, Apple, and McDonald's are just a few examples of how symbolic design can evoke emotions, shape behavior, and communicate messages subconsciously. In spiritual and self-development contexts, sigils continue to serve as tools for introspection and manifestation. People use them in journals, vision boards, tattoos, and artwork as constant reminders of intentions and personal goals. The process of creating a sigil, designing, charging, and releasing, becomes a form of self-programming, a method to align conscious desires with subconscious activity. Sigils also appear in broader cultural movements. Psychedelic art, graphic design, and even modern spirituality draw on symbolic forms to communicate complex ideas and evoke deep emotional responses. Spirals, stars, and mandalas all share the principle of condensed symbolism, speaking to the unconscious mind across cultures and epochs. This universality explains why civilizations that never interacted often developed strikingly similar symbolic patterns. The timelessness of sigils highlights an essential truth. Symbols are a universal language. They transcend culture, language, and time. Whether carved into ancient stone, drawn in medieval grimoires, or embedded in modern corporate logos, the principle is the same. A focused intention, encoded into a symbol, communicates directly to the mind, the heart, and the world around us. By observing sigils in history and modern life, we can see that they are not merely tools of mysticism, but powerful instruments of human cognition and influence. They remind us that reality is not only shaped by physical action, but also by intention, perception, and the symbols we create and interact with every day. In today's world, sigils are everywhere, quietly influencing how we think, feel, and act. Their principles have seamlessly merged with modern culture, design, and personal growth practices. Once you understand this, the world begins to feel like a living web of symbolic intention all around you. Corporate logos are perhaps the most obvious modern sigils. They are carefully crafted symbols designed to communicate intention and evoke emotion at a subconscious level. Take Nike's swoosh, for instance. It is not just a logo, it is a condensed expression of movement, speed, and victory. When you see it, your subconscious absorbs these concepts instantly, associating them with motivation, performance, and achievement. Apple's bitten apple is another example. Beyond representing a fruit, it symbolizes knowledge, curiosity, and innovation. Even McDonald's golden arches are more than simple curves. They project comfort, familiarity, and satisfaction. These symbols work like traditional sigils, influencing behavior and perception without conscious effort. Sigils are also widely used in personal growth and spiritual practices. People create them in journals, vision boards, and even tattoos, using them as daily reminders of their intentions. The act of designing and charging a sigil is inherently transformative. Every stroke of the pen, every creative choice, and every burst of emotion while creating the symbol acts as a bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind. This alignment allows desires and intentions to flow into reality, creating practical and personal magic. Art and graphic design in contemporary culture borrow heavily from sigil-like principles. Psychedelic art, mandalas, and abstract geometric patterns all rely on symbolic communication with the unconscious. Artists use shapes, repetition, symmetry, and colors to provoke emotional responses and deeper reflection. Even if viewers cannot articulate why they feel a certain way, the impact is undeniable. Symbols bypass logic and speak directly to our psyche, much like a traditional sigil conveys intention to the subconscious. In daily life, we encounter sigils more often than we realize. Religious icons, app logos, traffic symbols, and emojis all carry intention. A simple heart emoji instantly conveys care or love, just as a traditional sigil might communicate protection or desire. These symbols subtly guide our behavior and perception, reminding us that our environment is full of intentional, symbolic communication. The universality of sigils is what makes them timeless. Across cultures, languages, and historical periods, humans instinctively recognize the power of symbolic communication. Civilizations that never interacted often created strikingly similar patterns, such as stars, spirals, and mandalas. This demonstrates that certain forms resonate deeply with the human mind, providing a shared symbolic language that crosses time and space. Understanding this makes the practice of creating a personal sigil even more powerful. When you craft a symbol that resonates with you personally, you tap into a universal subconscious language, connecting your intentions to a wider flow of energy and influence. It is both a deeply personal practice and a universal truth. Symbols have the power to shape thought, behavior, and reality. Whether used for personal development, artistic expression, or subtle influence, sigils remain one of the most potent tools we have. They are not just mystical curiosities. They are a bridge between your inner desires and the world around you, proving that even in the modern age, magic and intention are deeply intertwined. As we reach the end of this exploration, it's clear that sigils are far more than mystical symbols or abstract art. They are living tools, capable of connecting intention, emotion, and subconscious power to create tangible effects in your life. Every sigil you design is a conversation with the universe, a bridge between what you desire and what manifests. The beauty of sigils lies in their simplicity and universality. You don't need complex rituals or rare tools. All you need is clarity of purpose, focus, and the willingness to trust the process. From ancient magicians to modern-day designers and spiritual practitioners, the principle remains the same. A symbol carries energy, condenses intention, and communicates directly with the subconscious mind. Think of it this way. Every logo you see, every iconic design you encounter, and every personal symbol you create is a modern sigil in action. These visual cues influence behavior, evoke emotion, and subtly shape perception. By creating your own sigils, you're participating in a practice that has been refined across centuries, blending art, psychology, and magic into one powerful tool. Now it's your turn. Take a moment to reflect on what you truly desire. Turn that intention into a unique sigil. Charge it with emotion and energy, then release it into the universe with trust and detachment. Watch how your focus, intention, and creativity begin to influence not only your thoughts but also your actions, opportunities, and experiences. Remember, magic isn't about external forces. It's about understanding your own power, your own mind, and your ability to shape reality. Sigils are a reminder that you are the creator of your life. They are an invitation to engage with the subconscious, harness symbolic energy, and manifest your goals in a practical, intentional way. So start today. Draw your symbol, feel its power, and trust the process. The universe responds to clarity, focus, and intention. And every sigil you create is a step closer to the life you envision. If this journey into the hidden language of sigils inspired you, share it with others, explore more, and keep experimenting. The world of symbols is vast, powerful, and waiting for your creative touch. Your reality is only as limited as your imagination. And with sigils, your imagination has a direct line to the subconscious, the universal,